Hi guys, today I'll be taking a look at a very light linear switch, the Akko Rosewood. Let's get started. But firstly, a disclaimer, these switches were sent to me by Akko. I wasn't paid to make this review and I will remain as impartial as I can as per usual. Anyway, enjoy the review. Now, the Akko Rosewood is designed for one thing, a deep sound signature out of the box. So if you like thocky switches or if you're curious about that, these may be for you. Additionally, if you aren't into thocky switches, there's also the Akko Botany, which Akko claims to have a slightly higher pitched sound profile, but I don't have that to test on hand. Now, pricing wise, these are $13.99 for 45 switches on Akko's website, placing these in the budget range. And this is what they look like when disassembled. Feel free to pause the video. Now, let's move on to the switch characteristics. On-center key presses are extremely smooth with very minor binding at very slow key presses. These are essentially as close as you can get to perfection. Off-center key presses are very smooth with the binding being slightly magnified but not in any noticeable manner during normal use. Overall, these are excellent and I'm very impressed by how smooth they are. 8 out of 10. Now, according to Akko, these switches have an actuation force of 40 grams at 2mm and a bottom out distance of 4mm. Now, in terms of the actual key feel, they're very light as per the specs, which isn't to my preferences. They remind me of the Gatron Clear, and if you know anything about that switch, you'd know just how light it is. These are almost that light. However, on a more positive note, these performed very consistently throughout my testing period, which isn't really surprising given these are from Akko. Overall, the real highlight here is their top-notch performance and consistency wise, but these are clearly not for me weighting wise. 4 out of 10. Now, as already mentioned, these are tuned to be deep and thocky out of the box. So, are they? Well, yes they are, although just bear in mind they aren't the thockiest switch out there. Overall, if you're planning to build a board on a budget, these thocky linear switches are a good choice. 7 out of 10. Now, take a listen and enjoy. Now, typing on these was my least enjoyed aspect about them, and yes, that's to do with its incredibly light weighting. Now, I made several typos from the very beginning up until the very writing of this script, so yes, it was never a switch I got used to. I certainly wasn't comfortable using it for more sensitive work like data entry, it just felt like I was asking for trouble whenever I did. However, they do have something going for them, and that's their consistency. These performed very consistently across all the switches with absolutely zero issues regarding scratchiness or mushiness. That's impressive on its own. Overall, whilst these aren't for me, I can recommend these to those looking for a cheaper and smoother alternative to the Cherry MX Red. 5 out of 10. Now, unlike typing, I only tend to use a few keys when gaming, so the light weighting didn't bother me as much. Additionally, they performed pretty much identically when it came to both fast and slow-paced games. However, since I made more mistakes during fast-paced games, I was more comfortable using these for slower games. Furthermore, these are very quiet given they're designed to have a deep sound signature which allowed me to appreciate more immersive gameplay experiences. That's an underrated feature in my opinion. Overall, I'm not the target audience for this switch, but I'd recommend it to someone who values quietness for gaming without the mushy feeling of silent switches. 7 out of 10. In conclusion, it's a solid choice for those on a tight budget and are looking for a smooth, consistent, lightly weighted switch with a thocky sound signature. The final score for the Switch is 31 out of 50 or 62%, matching the banana split, which costs 2.5 times more per Switch. And that's the end of the review. Next time I'll be testing a Holy Panda clone, maybe. Anyway, until then, take care and goodbye.